The question for this presentation is, are there any restrictions on fund transfer from Singapore company? Do you need to take any approvals before you make any outbound transfer? Or are there any restrictions on inbound transfer? Once you have incorporated a company, you will open the bank account because bank account is necessary as you need to make the payment for your business expenses. And also you will use the bank account for receiving the sales proceeds. Now in Asia, many countries have exchange restrictions. For example, I know that in India, if you want to make a payment in foreign currency beyond a specific amount limit, then you will need to take a Reserve Bank of India approval. Similarly, I believe in Philippines also there are similar rules. So people who are incorporating a company in Singapore are often having question whether if similar rules are there in Singapore also or what, and how does the payment and all these things happen. The concern is more aggravated because many of these promoters continue residing in their home country and they don't necessarily come to Singapore for stay. So in that circumstances, it will be definitely difficult for them to arrange for any paperwork which might be required for this outbound or inbound transfer. So let's have a look. So the first point to note is that there are no exchange controls in Singapore. So it's a free exchange country, and what that means is you can freely transfer funds from your company either outbound or you can receive funds freely in your company. There are no restrictions, you do not need to take any approval, there is no paperwork required. You can just log into your internet banking facility and enter the details of the recipient and transfer the money out. So it's a very easy to do process and it is quite open. Now having said that, even though legally there are no restrictions on this, in certain circumstances, bank may ask you additional details. So if the payment being made or if the incoming funds are having some unusual circumstances, the banks may require some clarification. You need to understand that anti-money laundering and counterfeiting terrorism restrictions or the mechanisms are there in place in majority of the banks. So banks are instructed always that if you find any transaction unusual, you need to investigate or at least check the details. So what are those unusual circumstances? I will not be able to give you the complete list because this policy varies from bank to bank. But in general, what I can say that if you are transferring funds to unusual or sanctioned locations, or if incoming funds are from this kind of locations, or if the transaction is of an unusually large amount, for example, your normal remittances are in the range of $10,000, and suddenly one day you make a transfer of $500,000, then that becomes unusually large. If the product for which the payment is being made or the company to which it is being made, that company deals in high risk products like gems and gold, maybe some other materials, or maybe even military products. Or if you are dealing with companies with negative record, then in that circumstances, bank may ask you to provide more details to show the background of the transaction. So in summary, there are no restrictions on fund transfer from Singapore to any other country or on receiving funds in a Singapore bank account. But as I mentioned, in unusual circumstances, bank may ask for more details.
Thank you for watching this video. This video was brought to you by Epica Consulting Singapore. Subscribe to our channel today to get notified when new videos are posted.